Good day, open hearts, and thank you for being here at the Shell Energy. So it's been very busy here at the studio, so I haven't been able to do videos, but here we still, the month of June, we're running 50% off of the consultations. So let me know if you need one. I would love to see you here present. I just wanted to give you heads up. Coming up, there's a big shift. And I want you to pay attention to the forest rather than get distracted by the trees. That's what I heard. And by that I mean when something is presenting in your field. I took off my glasses because I can explain that better without my glasses. Whatever presents in your field, remember to take pause and look at it. But I want you to, instead of looking at it like intensely, I want you to look at it with very soft eyes so that you see it and you take the whole picture of it. So I'm going to say a person. Let's say you don't like your dentist. Let's say you don't like your boss, or you don't like, I don't know, the neighbor, and you go out to get the mail and you see the neighbor, and when you start talking to her, you stop, pause, take a breath so that you can feel the judgment coming, because you already know you don't like her. So that's already you passing judgment. This is all. This is the ego. We already know that. So what I want you is to soften your gaze when you look at her, so that instead of looking at her and looking at her crazy eyebrows or the way she moves her weird mouth or things like that, you know, those things that we get hanging and you say, oh, she's so nasty, blah, blah, blah. Don't go there. Softly look at her. And instead of focusing very closely on her face or what you don't like, bring your focus big, okay? Just like when you zoom in, you zoom out. And start paying attention around her energy field, around her. And I don't want you to try anything. You're not trying to look at the aura. You're not trying to look at what colors she has, or, you know, if she has any entities or any of this crazy stuff. No, you're just looking to take her in full, completely, okay? And if you talk to her, hopefully you talk to her, at least, you know, the greetings, see her whole, see her softly, and try to take in the space that is around her and concentrate in the space that is around her, in her energy field. This doesn't mean we're not honoring her presence, you know, her beautiful body, her garden that contains her soul, but we are going to soften our view of her so that we take her whole. And when we do that, we're going to see the whole beautiful sentient being that she is. This beautiful soul that is inside this physical body. But because we're taking her whole, we are softening the edges. And you found this to be difficult. You can do this with a physical object, you know. You can do that with glasses or with a pen, anything, to practice. Because as you focus in the outer edge of the person, you begin to relax, and your you know, fight and flight thing that we have going on now, because the last couple of, you know, 4 or 5 days, the nervous system really got hit with a lot of codes. So we are on that adrenal jump. That's going to soften and it's going to relax So your eyes will relax, your jaw will relax as you see her whole, or your boss, you know, as you see him or you see her whole. When she's walking or when she's talking, you will relax because you see her whole being, not just her face or the mouth talking. And as you see her physical body and the space around it, something happens that the space between her, you know, feel and your feel start to mingle, and the separation start to dissolve. So coming up, we still very much on a new learning of communication, of sacred communication, purifying our words and the way we talk to each other. That is feels through the whole month of June. But what's coming tomorrow is this us having to learn about seeing the bigger picture, seeing the good for everybody, because everybody really truly wants the same thing. Okay, we all want to feel safe. We all want to, let me highlight, delete that. We all want to know safety. We all want to know prosperity. We all want to know joy. We all want to know love. All of us. There is not a person alive, breathing now, that doesn't want these basic things. And as we see each other through the bigger picture, we start dissolving these make-believe challenges and obstacles that we put in between ourselves. Okay. And talking about challenges and obstacles that we put between ourselves in relationships, I was just talking about that with one of my daughters. We finish Our Flag Means Death, the first season. And when I don't want to spoil, but you can see that the next season is going to be with a lot of make-believe obstacles between relationships that are important, but because we are so used to zooming in, you know, with this level of aggressivity, with this level of violence, we zoom in, and so then we miss the big picture. We miss the whole being. So as you start seeing everything as, you know, the whole being that they are, if you see the police officer or, like I said, the neighbor, you start seeing first the body, then you start seeing, you know, you will see the stories, you know, the mother that she is, or the nurse that she is, or so, but it gets bigger and bigger until you understand, and your feel starts reading her feel as, you know, the divinity that she is, the beloved that she is, the source light that she is, just moving around and expressing itself as Mrs. So-and-so. Okay, so it's very important coming up that we get to see, to practice seeing the bigger picture now, because as as the heat, you know, gets hotter, sometimes we get distracted. Your levels of stress then get really triggered, and it just gets into this snowball, and then we start zooming in, and then all you see is, first of all, you see the face, and then you start going deeper and deeper and zooming in into this microscope. When you see it's just the mouth of the person, then you see the words, and then the words, then you separate the words, and then us coming in with our belief systems and our filters, we're really not taking in what they're saying at that point. We just putting our filters through, and then it's very easy to go back into this victimhood or self-righteousness. All right, so the more you soften your gaze, and the next couple of weeks, let's say 2.5 weeks, when you see the world, everything, the better it's gonna be, okay? Because as you soften your gaze, you are not so quick to pass judgment. And when we are not passing judgment, we are not recycling fear. Okay, so quick story about my eyes. It took me, my eyes were fine, and then there was this gigantic eclipse coming up a few years ago, and everybody was ready. I was ready for it. It was gonna be on a Monday, I remember. And on a Friday before the eclipse, I realized that I could not see details of anything. And the crazy thing is, when I went to the doctor, everybody was assuming, because I didn't get to see the doctor until like the next day after the eclipse. Everybody was assuming that I have seen the eclipse with my eyes open. But anyway, it took me a long time to be at peace with not seeing details, because I understood that being a double Virgo, I was so stuck on details, and sometimes it was very difficult to move forward with what's the next task on hand, because I was so focused on the details and so stuck up with not finishing something until it was perfect, that, you know, me not being able to see details at the end of this, you know, experience, it took me about 8 months to a year to come at peace and realize what a wonderful thing it is that I can be at peace without seeing the tiniest details and being all, you know, crazy about it like I used to be. My eyes are getting better, but that was the biggest lesson I had, and that came to mind this morning when I was feeling these frequencies coming in as it is winding out and TZIKIN is coming in. And TZIKIN says that, you know, you need to rise above to see the bigger picture, okay? The reason we're reaching these peak points of breakage is because the old patterns cannot be sustained. So we need to stop repeating the old patterns and do not try the old. We already tried to fix them because that's not working anymore. We already went through all that. We're not using any of the old stuff. We are already present in the new grid, brand new, and everything that we need to do here and now is here and now in the present moment. So as we soften our gaze through the next 2.5 weeks or so, we will be able to see the bigger picture with more ease and grace, without falling into the hooks of judgment, you know, throwing blame, you know, self-righteousness, and guilting people, because that is all, and we are done recycling that. If you're watching my channel, you know we are done recycling that. We have been done for a while with that. So let's pay attention to the bigger picture now and understand that we are moving through a big, important process. And the less we recycle the old density, the faster we will move through the next layer. Okay, so I am gonna try to come back before the end of the Tercena, but I just wanted to give you a heads up. Don't get stuck with the details, okay? Take it the best you can with what's, you know, what you have on hand, and resolve what's in front of you with grace and ease, and move forward, okay? Don't lose sight of the big picture. Remember, we are the angels. And as the angels that we came, we need to be present in this physicality to bring in the change that it's already here. It needs to be done through the physical. So as we more and more receive our angelic rights, our angelic frequencies, our higher selves, our highest self, the easier gonna be to move through what's coming. Okay, and what's coming is just what's coming next. You know, it's not like we're ending anything. This is just a spiral going up to higher and higher levels of being. Better or bad, there's not such a thing as this is good or bad. No, we're just moving to a higher vibrational level, and everything is vibration, everything is energy. So where we're moving is just a higher level of vibrating, fastest and more fun, because everything comes through the physicality much faster, and we can see each other without masks and pretending to be something we are not. And as we see people coming through with still a mask or a layer of anger or a layer of resentment, you can soft focus and start seeing the bigger picture. See them without focusing so much on the small them, and start seeing their bigger selves, their highest self. And but like that, then you move away from judgment much easier. When you see them as their higher self, you are not likely to bring in the small labels that we used to put to each other. That is nasty, that one is selfish, or like that. When we see ourselves as our highest self, the big picture, the source God that we are not going to start putting labels on each other anymore, and we're not passing judgment. Okay, so thank you for coming with an open heart and an open mind. Thank you so much for sharing, for thumbs up and subscribing. Thank you for your questions and all your comments. I love them. Thank you so much for being here with me. Remember, we are the angels. Divine blessings. Namaste.